see us as less human, especially those who are light complexioned, who think they are almost Mzungus. So we need those refugee camps. In Botswana, there is refugee camp. In Zimbabwe, there is refugee camps. In Mozambique, Tanzania, Zambia, Malawi, there is all refugee camps around us. In Angola, there is refugee camps. That's where they keep refugees. Now, we become an attractive destination for fake asylum seekers because we do not have refugee camps. And our constitution does provide for refugee camps. The ANC does not want refugee camps to be erected. And they give you very stupid reasons why. You know, I mean, how do you control asylum seekers if they throw these asylum seekers into communities without having any plan for them? There's no plan for them. They don't give them food. They don't provide security. They don't provide schools. They don't, they just leave them to fend for themselves. You know, spending the same resources as us, using the same amenities as us. And these people are not budgeted for. They are not in the national budget. People in the national budget are the people who are citizens. So, commanders, this issue, if we don't deal with it, if we don't fight illegal immigration, this issue is going to cause generational problems. Our population dynamics are going to be diluted because of us not fighting this issue. You know, we must have a systematic crusade of hate against these people. Because if you hate me, I give hate back. You know, you cannot be my friend and love me when you feed my kids poison. So you are my enemy. You know, so commanders, we should fight these guys. Me, I'm happy that my movement, Operation Tutula, is on the ground on a daily. We are fighting these people. We are making Soweto to be very small for them. You know, and we are going to win, commanders. We are going to win because we are relentless. We are not working, some of us anyway. We wake up in the morning, we go to the municipalities and stop them from coming to register. You know, there was one of our operations at the at the Attersville Kalafong Hospital. We were stopping people from coming to steal our medical care. And it was successful to an extent that even the Minister of Health came there to interfere. And the Minister of Health promised us that he will do 1, 2, 3. And he did that because of our fight, you know. So, morning, commanders.
Thank you, Commander Josh. Morning. The brave, you can submit after Commander Josh. But Yazi, when we are listening to this, Commander Josh, but Yazi, when we are listening, we did not consent to this. We did not say we want these people. We were not consulted. They are being forced upon us. We must reject them. From primary school, these schools are reserved for our children. They are for us. Our children must live well. They must eat well. By in the schools, not these people. They are taking the resources of our children. The brave, please, can you submit?
Good day, Commander. Commanders, actually, I do agree in regards to many things, but therefore the fight is circulating because what's happening currently is that even the refugees, so-called refugees, they're not refugees. What kind of a refugee leaves his kids and a wife at home and comes alone and calls himself a refugee? There's no such a refugee, but a person that wants to exploit in our nation specifically. So in terms of refugees and even Botswana currently, I saw them, they allowed free flow of people through IDs, especially Zimbabweans. So that's unacceptable. That will not actually minimize our challenges specifically. It actually enhances even more. Because I always say, in regards to what the government intervention in regards to foreign nationals and the Saga Shop Saga, the government has saw that the market actually has more money and now wants to tax. So he is not assisting us at all, but he's playing the part in order to tax these spaza shops by registering them. So it is a ploy to actually circulate us around by seeing that we are actually desperate enough to actually remove these foreign nationals and actually let them go to their nations. Because currently, I told even my brother that this thing of imprisoning foreign nationals does not work. These people have to be deported. We should have a stronger border. We should have a stronger border service in which has cameras specifically. But there is no such. So why do we need to deport whereby these people will still come with these the same ways they came with specifically? Because there's somebody they removed actually currently. I saw him being taken, but he is back as if nothing is happening. So these people are actually playing with our minds. It's all a ploy, unless if we actually face our government and say, no, we are playing with our minds now. This cheap labor thing, actually, you are playing with us because we remove, then they come back, we remove it. So this thing is a ploy until we actually do something and say, government, you need to build a stronger border. We need a person that's there to say, we need to build a stronger border. We need to have a better police service that has police, what do you call, body cameras, in order to monitor also the police services if they are doing a correct job. So this thing of playing around, even Ramaphosa is saying that spaza shops have to be registered. He knows that even though they do not meet the criteria of being registered, they will be registered in order to be taxed, nothing else. So until we actually confide to our government to say, no, when you're playing with us, this is not the way we want actually to solve this problem. We need to create a stronger border. We need to a police service that has body cameras, and we need actually to deport every single one of them. Because since 2022, they've been deporting. These people have been coming in as if nothing is happening. Thus far, they spent over 200 million. But nothing is happening. So they're literally playing with our minds. So until we confide to the government and say, no. Especially Operation Tutula, I've been seeing them going around, but you remove one, then 10 come in also. So it's problematic. How many times will you remove? Once they come in, flood in, cheap labor comes in, because even these so-called companies don't care. They know that these people are just playing. They remove these ones and then someone else will replace them. Two will replace them actually. We'll divide that 500 into 250. Until you confide really the government and say no. We need a stronger border. We need police service that actually has webcams in order to do their job correctly. There will never be a solution. So I thank you, commanders. I hope you take note, because there is no such thing as refugees. Refugees, I cannot go to a country alone and leave my family and call myself a refugee. A refugee is somebody like in Palestine that will be saved by South Africa specifically and taken from that country and brought into South Africa in order to stay because they have a crisis in their country. Not just somebody who walks and says, I'm going to another country, I'm a refugee. No, that's not a refugee. What kind of crisis do they have that we do not have? Because we do the same things they do have. We do have hunger, which is 55.6%. We do have unemployment. It is way worse than any other country. 33.59%. But do we cry? Do we go to their countries? No. So unless we confide the government on doing the correct thing, which they should be doing, we pay a lot of tax, in which a couple of people pay a lot of tax actually, especially workers.
I'm one of workers. I pay tax every day. It annoys me when I work overtime. Well, I can
cameras and a stronger a border gate that has a proper surveillance. We do not actually need to be speaking about this because there's no solution. We will be going around, even 5 years later, we'll be still talking about the same thing. So the government needs to act according to the border and the deportation accordingly. Because just deporting, it's useless. Just actually saying, okay, these people have to be registered, it's useless because they'll be registered and pay tax, and then what's next?
Guys, is Tatel Lebza available? If he is available, Tatel Lebza.
Commanders. Can you?
Welcome, Tatel Lebza. Welcome. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. No, Kia leboha, commanders. Thank you and thank you very much. You know, this is so huge and this is so deep. It's so deep, and I'm not sure if our government deals with this. Where exactly are they going to start? Number one, I'm thinking we have economic issues. Economic issues, I'm talking in terms of your poverty. For as long as we're not going to improve our economy and, you know, make it benefit our citizens, we're going to have a problem. These guys were told now to register the spaza shop. Already they are using us as citizens to register the spaza shop with our identity. So we're not gonna have a way of solving any issue as far as illegal foreigners is concerned. They have penetrated our home affairs, accessing identity. They have penetrated labor through cheap labor. They penetrated Department of Health, accessing birth certificate which qualifies them for grants. They penetrated education. If you look at most of educational institutions that are registered privately, they are owned by foreigners, Ghanaians, Nigerians, and so they have penetrated all our departments. It's a problem, and it's a problem because we allow them. We give them documentation. Where they are unable to operate, we give them our identity to operate under. So this is a serious problem. Not long the issue of child labor of kids who have kids at an early age was addressed. You know, when I look at that issue, it's so painful that most of these Pakistani guys, they have kids with your 13-year-old, your 15-year-old, etc., etc. But if a South African man had a child with a 15 or a 13-year-old, the community stands and fight. Child abuse, they fight. Rape, they fight. This and that. But Pakistanis have kids with all these young girls. It's fine. Some of these young girls are even sold by their own mother. Hence I'm raising the issue of economy. Hence I'm raising the issue of poverty. It is the responsibility of government to make things accessible for us. If you look at the business that they are running, illegal business, they are supported by us. Not long in our community in the West End, we were fighting saying these guys must go. same as your Dudula has done. Big up Dudula in Soweto. The community was divided. Why? Some of the community members are accessing the very expired food from these guys in their spaza shops. So this is a problem. I had a guy, a close friend of my friend, who was telling me that guys who sold their identity to these guys, they are being paid. And on a monthly basis, because now some of them are women, and at the end of the day, these guys don't want to pay that rental of an identity or something. They hired this guy to do the collection. He says, I would go around and collect 3,000 from plus minus 7 bucks.
Have the so-called companies there in Nigeria. They are also suffering there in that country, to be honest. When you look at how much we trade between Nigeria and South Africa, it's about 2.something billion. If it's most, it's maybe 3 billion or 3.something billion in a GDP of almost 400 billion. It's very significant. It's a very small significant. It's like a droplet in the ocean, right? So even if we are saying we're cutting ties with Nigeria, nothing will happen to us, honestly. It will be just like a small fraction of our economy is removed, because the truth of the matter is that even after those companies that are there in Nigeria, they all want to leave because there isn't buying power. There's just no buying power in Nigeria, right? Even the crude oil that we used to get, if you remember nicely, I think it's last year when Maposa had a bilateral meeting with, I think the King of Saudi, what's this guy's name? Mohammed bin Salam, right? They then made an agreement in terms of trade. If you were to check the numbers of South Africa in terms of crude oil, right, Nigeria is nowhere to be seen. Looks like South Africa has been trying, gradually trying to move away from Nigeria due to the mere fact of them being puppets of the West, having that we've got ties with BRICS. So Nigeria is not significant to South Africa just because there's some few hundred, I think it's 120 companies that are there that are not even making money. If we were to remove those things, there's no ties that are actually scary, for the mere fact that maybe ANC comrades who've got shares in those companies are going to be losing. Our ties are mostly with the Western country and the Asian countries when it comes to, in terms of economic exchange. Africa does not give us much, we give them much, right? That's what I wanted to say.
Okay, is anyone with a question? And also, guys, remember, this time is for questions, not submission. So, anyone from the panel with a question for Melvin?
Okay. Sanbonan, give a question for David, not particularly for Melvin. David, what is it that, in your opinion, that South Africa is benefiting by having Nigerians? Let me just ask you that, from just that one question.
Okay, I'll answer this. When I was back in Nigeria, I have worked with the Westgrow, worked with NCDC, I think, and the benefits for those is like every year, to speak, they always they go to Lagos, to Nigeria, for business relationships, whereby they interact with businesses to try to collaborate and build businesses for inbound and outbound trade on trade missions. So that, I think, has been a little bit productive, because if it wasn't productive, the government officials and the delegates who always come every year for these trade missions would have stopped. So I think there's something that's actually happening there, because it goes back and forth. That's why I said I deal with it from the perspective of the business angle, and the businesses that engage are not just they cut across different sectors, from manufacturing, engineering, and all kinds, agriculture and all of that. So the things we purchase from the South African companies, and there are things they also get in terms of the number, in terms of the population that we have in Nigeria. So that's something that's positive. And we always try to say, look, let's look at these things from the aspect of business and put aside the political issues that are going down the drain. And we also looked at this same issues of what's actually happening back home. But it's unfortunate that the government that's running Nigeria right now has not been doing very well, and that's what has led to the downtrend of things, especially with the citizens in Nigeria. That being said, South Africans are great people, and I love you guys. Honest.
Okay, I don't think you understood my question.
Wait a bit, Luna.
Whatever is happening in South Africa, okay? I love you as a brother, and you have spoken very well. You actually pointed out a few things that are actually happening in Nigeria, and this is because of the political class that has taken over control and has dwindled every Nigerian, dropped the poverty level, has gone to an increase. Okay, but that notwithstanding, we still have great people who are doing great stuff and trying to build whatever it is. For you all, my South African brothers and sisters, I'm speaking from the point of a human being, and I love you guys to bits. I have tons of friends, and all I'm just saying that I think there are ways we can always get things going. Nigerians still have to fix whatever it is that's going wrong there, and it starts with governance, and that has to really be fixed. Those who leave Nigeria and go to other countries to go and perpetrate bad and evil stuff, I don't stand for that, and I don't support it in any way at all. If you have to go anywhere, you need to go and just add value. That's all I just want to say. Thank you so much for giving me the time.
Your time to submit will come again. Your time to submit will come, because now
I'm done. I just wanted to clarify that
like
point.
A submission now. So we're gonna get back to you.
Thank you.
Okay, Nancy, Melvin, you're next. Guys, I'm going to give you 5 minutes when you submit, and then I'll allow people to ask you a question. So it's going to be Melvin, and then after Melvin, it's going to be Smokey.